First of all, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. 20 years is a huge milestone. Can you take us back to the beginning and share how the idea for Searcher first came about?
Well, we sold our business Seismic Australia to Fugro in the year 2000, and then we had to work for them for 5 years. And so when we finished working for them, we started two companies, Finder, which was a sort of a company taking up licenses, and Searcher. And I focused on Finder and Odd focused on Searcher. So we were running two parallel things, but Fugro had our backing the whole time and provided us with free offices for the first year or so, and back office, and we took it from there.
So we decided that after a while that we decided to split. And I think you was the first one who moved out.
Yeah.
So Jan moved out. I stayed with Searcher, which was probably a natural thing to happen because Searcher and Fugro did a lot of spec projects together, and as I said earlier, I was just a project development manager, and I continue to be a project development manager.
And what were your big wins in the early years? How did it all work?
Just small projects, one after the other, reprocessing and stuff. I remember initially, until we got into Polar Duke.
So I just see Searcher being like the grandchild of Seismic Australia. So Seismic Australia was born, and that is when we remember all the, because that's, oh my God, over 30 years ago, Jan. That was where we remember, that was really the crazy times. Because when we started, our first project was actually just going to be a couple of 1,000 kilometers of some old, I think, Woppet line from 1976 on the X1 Plateau. And me and Jan, we were looking at how to do this, and we decided that no, we are going to infill this, and it became a crazy big project for Australians. And I think we blew the hat off a few people because those kind of big projects hadn't existed. We didn't just take a block or whatever, we took a whole basin, which was not. So that was over, I think,
30,000 kilometers of reprocessing.
Which was good.
But Fugro Multi-Client was born out of Seismic Australia, so that got renamed. So we just continued doing what we've always done.
I think the first few months were, oh my God, what have I done? So I left a fairly senior role at one of the largest service companies. Pretty secure, safe role, and went to what was essentially a startup in the multi-client business, which I didn't know anything about, with two Norwegians that I didn't know, that I could barely understand their accent. So I took that leap of faith, and then from there it was just learning. Just the first few years were like, I don't think we're going to be able to do that, and then we did.
Looking back over the last 2 decades, what project are you most proud of and why?
I think that the Lahara project is probably the one I got most involved in, because we did a full interpretation of it that I got quite involved in, and we had a secondee from an oil company looking at it, and I was working in our offices for 6 months, and yeah, that was the project that was most fun for me.
Yeah,
you might have another one.
Lahara was actually started in Fugro, and when they come in, because we started a company called Chinampa, so when we did a farm out. So during all this, usually you just think of starting as a spec, but the way my and Jan's venture has been is that we got to see both sides of the table. You get to see how the oil companies work, you got to see, and then when you know how your client is working, because usually those come to our side is coming from oil companies and going into consultant side. So we have an option to jump in and out of both. And what I think what we should be most proud of is that we maintained our integrity by doing that we never goes for the government, goes for the client, and it's actually also go for the staff. That they know we are not shortchanging people. I think.
No, we always look after our clients' interest first. And that tradition, I think, has been kept by our first employee, which runs the company today, Alan Hopping. I must say that he's doing an excellent job, and he's a guy with integrity. And
we must have done close to 200 projects or more now, and they've all got various stories attached to them. They're never straightforward. There's probably two that stand out, and one actual project and one more. I'll explain. So we did a project in the Philippines, and that was the first one where I just told her, don't worry, I've got this one, I'll go do it. So I flew to the Philippines by myself, chased the Minister of Energy around for 3 days, I think, in taxis trying to find him in Manila. Finally got 10 minutes with him, gave him the pitch, got the nod to do the project. Then the other one is really building Searcher. So for the last 10 years, I guess, my project has been building the company more than doing any individual project.
Stepping away from the project milestones, what are you most proud of when it comes to the team that has been built here at Searcher?
Yeah, we have what I think is probably the best team in the industry, in the multi-client game, and that's part of the magic, I guess. So we have a lot of people that are very, very good at what they do. They have very strong opinions on what we should do, but we have a sort of robust procedure that everyone respects everyone's opinion, and then we make a decision, and then whatever that is, we're all on board and we run hard together.
I think we have you will see a mix of ages in this office, and that's over a long time. I think we can be quite proud of retaining staff.
I always thought once we decide on something, it's about go and get it, and how do we do that? And most of the guys we have worked with since has been go-getters, sort of be stubborn enough to not take no for an answer and just get going.
If you were to look ahead 5 years, what does success for Searcher look like to you?
I would say to have a strong foothold worldwide. The politics and the way the world is spinning at the moment is, when it shuts off on some places, it do it really abruptly. We thought Australia was going to shut off for different reasons, and we then took actions, and as a result of that, we now have quite big presence in Africa and in South America, starting to grow up. So I would like to see that, but I also think there will be other venues for Searcher than just focusing on seismic and the oil companies. The data, the subsurface data, is needed for a lot of other things, and the wealth of the amount of data out there is so big. So we have already started, as you know, seismic, we have GeoClerk, we have all that. So we are gathering a lot of information, and that information, I think, is just going to be even more and more valuable when you put AI to it. So I think in 5 years' time, we will see probably a lot more impact on AI in the environment for Searcher than we are having at the moment.
Yeah, I will agree to that. It is all about building AI, what you call it, AI searchable databases, and we already have a massive database, but we want to build it much quicker and much bigger, so it can be used most places.
Whatever we're doing, we want to be leading in that market, whether it's a geographical market or a technical market segment, with the ability to adapt quickly is pretty essential in this boom and bust industry that we're in.
Away from unlocking the mysteries of the subsurface, what do you do for fun?
Grew up sort of near the water, windsurfing and sailing, so do quite a bit of that still.
Well, I've just been spending a month in West Papua, Papua New Guinea and Solomon Island on an explorer boat and snorkeling and yeah, having a quite different experience. Exploring is actually fun.
Yeah, I second that because I have salt in my veins. I love boating, and when we moved overseas, I sold it, and I regret hardly, because when I came back, my wife had vertigo and she can't be on a boat. So no, I can't really go out and just buy a boat, which I should have sold it. But so what we did instead was that we got us a caravan and we started exploring, but we love the bush.
And one last final question. What advice would you give a young geoscientist starting their career today?
Believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself, and if people say it can't be done, find a way it can be done, and you made yourself a way forward.
I would say be curious. Just research it over and over again till you find something that doesn't really stack up, and that might be your niche.
I would really just encourage anyone in any field to find something that you love doing, and then just go for it.
Thanks very much for your time today. It's been great hearing you reminisce about the last 20 years of Searcher.